And good afternoon. Welcome into a special edition of Market Talk. I am your host, Jesse Allen. You can find us online on demand at markettalkag.com, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. It's all at Market Talk Ag. And on your favorite podcast sources, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, radio.com, Amazon, so many more. You could find us there, SoundCloud as well, all your favorite podcast sources, and also on YouTube. You can watch us there on demand. Our special program today, we're moving away from market talk a little bit. We're talking about farm safety, which is a very important topic, and we'll bring in a good friend of mine, Jana Davidson with Progressive Agriculture Foundation, as our guest here today on Market Talk. Jana, how are you?
I'm doing great, Jesse. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, I appreciate you joining the program here. You guys get to be the first quote unquote special program on Market Talk. I love it. I love it. And we've been working together for quite a while since my radio days. So this is always fun to catch up with you and the crew at Progressive Agriculture Foundation, Jana. And let's dive into this stuff and let's talk about things. You know, we're coming up on the holidays, and I guess I should back up first, and maybe we should just do this first before we get too far into this. For folks who don't know about the Progressive Agriculture Foundation, why don't you give us a little rundown on what you guys do?
Absolutely. So, Progressive Agriculture Foundation, we host a program called Progressive Agriculture Safety Days, and we are just getting ready to enter our 27th year. So we've been around for quite a few years, and our goal is to teach kids about safety and health, whether they're living on farming or whether living in farming or rural communities, or just safety around the home. We want to kind of change some behaviors. Maybe they have some unsafe behaviors or things that they've adopted maybe from generation to generation, and we kind of want to show them what's the safe way to do things. So for the longest time, we have really focused on safety. Now we're trying to focus a little bit more on health too. We just put out a mental health chapter this year. So we're very into hands-on. That's one thing. I think if someone wants to kind of capture our program in a few words, it's hands-on learning. We don't like to lecture to the kids. We like the kids to come to our safety day, experience the topic by doing something. And unfortunately for 2020, that was a little difficult with COVID. So we've changed a lot of what we were doing into virtual modules here for 2020 because, you know, we thought long and hard as a staff that if we can't reach the kids at safety day, we have to bring safety day to the kids. We know they're home. Sometimes when they're home now, if they're schooling at home, that also leaves the opportunity for sometimes boredom and them to kind of partake in some riskier behavior or get curious, or maybe they just want to help out on the farm, and what are some age appropriate tasks that they can do. So I think now it's more important than ever. So we're trying to deliver our program a little differently here for 2020.
Sure, and 2020 has been weird for everybody, but you guys have adapted so well to doing the virtual experience. And again, like you said, just kind of hands-on and curious, and helping youth understand some of those dangers that are around the farm.
Yes, very much so. And we can't do it alone. Our program, so we're a nonprofit we have 6 staff members all throughout North America, but we are able to do what we do because of volunteers. So we have nearly 400 to 500 lead and assistant safety day coordinators that are our boots on the ground. They take this program and then offer it all throughout North America. And they are really our safety champions. So we help train them, provide those resources, and give them everything they need to have a successful program.
All right. Now we can dive into what we were going to talk about. I'm so used to just doing this with you, and it was like, oh, let's jump into the topic. And then I'm like, wait a minute, we should probably talk about what Progressive Agriculture Foundation does for a new audience. So now let's move on to holiday gift giving, and that's going to be our topic here this month on our special program. And just kind of, with safety in mind, obviously Christmas is right around the corner. But talk about that a little bit, and talk about some of the things that you guys are trying to convey to parents and youth out there.
Absolutely. So I think if we learned anything from 2020 is that life is the most precious gift of all. And this time of year, as we're in the season of Thanksgiving, we are tending to think a little bit more about the holidays and gift giving and how that's going to work. And we're placing our orders early because with COVID, there's some challenges with delivery and maybe even having events in person. So it might be a lot of sending gifts this year. So while we're keeping that in mind and realizing that safety and health is now more important than ever before, we want to bring that focus to your gift giving this holiday. So things like face masks might be the most popular things in the stockings this year. And,
Hmm.
it's the reality, but hey, let's keep, especially with our young ones, let's keep them wearing these masks. Let's keep them excited about going, being able to go to school, hopefully, if that continues. And let's be creative in what we can give them. So it's keeping safety and health in mind, but in a fun way, just like we do at our Safety Day program. So to think about things that you can get for folks, if you want to start out, we can even talk about some of our older generation here too, because not
Sure.
just kids, but our farmers. Everybody here probably knows, and I'm not picking on anybody by the name of Fred, but we'll say we have these frugal Freds in our life, or someone like that works really hard. I mean, I have many in my life that works really hard and would much rather give something to someone else than rather take care of themselves or purchase something for themselves. And maybe they have that old rundown ladder that they've been using for 30 so years. It's not in the best shape. They may, it's just a dangerous situation, but
Hmm.
they're expensive. It's an expense. Maybe they don't have the funds right now, or again, they're more willing to give to someone else. Maybe it's the time to replace that ladder for someone. So those little things to keep in mind. And I think this year more than ever is going to be about more of what we need rather than what we want. So that's just a way to kind of think about that with some of those loved ones in our lives. The other big thing is if we are going to give children a gift, let's say we want to purchase an ATV or UTV, maybe we have a son at home or a grandson, and we're thinking, they've been wanting an ATV or UTV, they've been proving that they've been responsible, and this is going to be the year. We've had a rough 2020. Let's give them something to look forward to and have that item. Well, we want to follow up and make sure before we hand over those keys, we're ensuring that they take some training courses as well. Because like the ATV Safety Institute, there's several out there that provide online training that's very easy, but we want to give them the tools to make sure they're doing it safely. The other thing, and the same thing is true with a bicycle, maybe you have a little one in your life, maybe a little girl that's been finally learning to ride a bike and doesn't need the training wheels anymore. So maybe we're going to upgrade. Well, maybe it's also time to upgrade that helmet as well. Just like
Hmm.
ATV, if we're going to give somebody an ATV, we really want to follow up with that personal protective equipment and that PPE that they're going to need to, again, keep themselves safe while they're out riding. So those are just a couple things to keep in mind. And then even just with smaller gifts or when you're looking for toys, and I think we're all probably guilty of it. We always want that wow factor. We want all the children in our life to just love what we're going to get. And
Exactly.
they'll see commercials and they're like, oh, I want that. And we run out and get it. We tend to maybe not read the age appropriateness of that toy. So some things have small parts, so that can, you kind of want to be careful with things, especially like those button batteries. If things have those button
Hmm.
batteries, I can't believe how kids can locate those and they can open those toys and find those, and that can be very, very dangerous. We've heard a lot of incidents involving those. So be careful with that and other small parts that they could put in their mouth, or if they have a younger sibling and leave them laying around. So again, whatever we're purchasing, even if we're purchasing a gift for an older child and it may have some of those smaller parts, teaching them about being responsible with it so it's not laying around for another younger child to get their hands on it where they could potentially create a dangerous situation. So those are just a few of the safety tips here, I think, that are good for us to keep in mind as we're getting ready to create those lists and get our holiday shopping done, how we can really make sure we're keeping safety at the forefront.
Yeah, it's all very great insight, Jana.
Mhm.
All a lot of great things to consider with gift giving for this year. And let's move on a little bit and shift that. We talk about giving, and another event that's coming up is Giving Tuesday, which is the
Yes.
Tuesday after Thanksgiving, traditionally. And I know that the Progressive Agriculture Foundation, you guys are kind of, you have your own mission with Giving Tuesday. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. So this year we set a goal for ourselves, and we really are hoping to raise $2,000 during the month of December, right around Giving Tuesday, and that will help us send 200 children onto a safety day in 2021, which is that's about the average size of our safety days. They run anywhere. They can be. We have some that are smaller events, but 200 is about the average range of our safety days. So we thought, wouldn't it be great if we could raise funds to host another event in 2021? So that's our goal. And we've made it really, really easy to do that. And just like others, we're also faced with many of the challenges that have surrounded COVID pandemic. So, we've had to change our programming, and knowing that 2021, we're optimistic, fingers are crossed that we're going to be back in person next year. But, looking at the numbers each day, especially recently, we're also considering that might not be the reality. So we want to be prepared in 2021, where we weren't as much in 2020. We were kind of flying by the seat of our pants there, just trying to come up with ideas. I felt we were very good and proactive at that, but we know we can do better. So we want to have tools, resources in place that if 2021, most of our safety days are choosing to go that virtual route, we're ready for it. And we're able to give them the resources to customize their virtual event just like they would if they were having it in person. So that's a priority for us too. Some of those funds will help do that as well. So it's really, really, it's a great time to give to our program, to other organizations, but we've made it really, really easy. So folks, if they're wanting to make a donation, they can do so by texting the word Safety Day, just one word, Safety Day, to 44321. So pretty easy number to remember. 321, text Safety Day, and they can start their giving. Or on our website, which is progressiveag.org, we have a Donate Now button. They can simply go on there and click that and make their contribution. They can also find our mailing address on our website if they want to send a check in, so they can send it right to our headquarters in Birmingham, Alabama. So many ways to give, and we do recognize our donors in our annual report and in other ways throughout the year.
Well, and all those links, and I know there's a Facebook group as well for Giving Tuesday. We'll have all that linked up at markettalkag.com so people can check it out there and find it all easily as well. And Jana, you mentioned, of course, Progressive Agriculture Safety Days, and you talked about that at the open. That's the big thing that the Progressive Agriculture Foundation does, and we're looking ahead to 2021. Hopefully that we can move out of a virtual experience and move back into hands-on in-person training. So talk about what you guys are doing right now to get ready for 2021 Safety Days.
Okay, so if someone is listening in and they've heard about our program, or they're just learning about it and they think, wow, this sounds really great, because it is a wonderful community service opportunity that you could offer in a school, in your community. There's so many ways that you can offer a safety day, and they want to get involved. This year, even with COVID, it is easier than ever to get involved. One thing we've done is we've made all of our trainings for our coordinators online. If you're a new coordinator, we've made an at your own pace training, which is perfect. So if you're a morning person, if you're a night owl, or if you're someone hoping to do your training over your lunch break, we make it super easy for you to do that. So you can still get involved with us. We've extended our deadline. Usually our application deadline each year is July 15th, but because of moving these trainings online, we're keeping it open. We still have the budget to fulfill some safety day spots. We have about 471 applications received so far, so not too shabby, but the fact that we can still take more, this is the best time to get involved, because again, going back to our website, you can simply go on there, progressiveag.org, and there is a Get Involved tab. You can click on that and you can start your application. We'll reach out to you and give you all the tools you need to start your training process, and we'll make it very easy for you. And again, you can choose. We're leaving the flexibility open. We said our big word for the year is flexibility. I think that's what everybody's utilizing. And we will make it easy. So if you choose to do an in-person, we are working, looking at the CDC guidelines, looking at other things to make sure that if you are going to have an in-person event, we're having it safely. We're giving you some recommendations on how to do that, as well as if you decide, hey, in-person just is not going to work for my community or for my comfort level, you have that virtual to fall back on. So that makes it really nice. And we help you every step of the way with training. That our staff, we might be a small staff, but we're available 24/7, and we will work with you to make your event successful. So we hope that folks consider applying.
Yeah, hopefully they do consider applying. And again, you can learn more progressiveag.org, progressiveag.org. You can also find those links up at markettalkag.com. Jana, anything else you want to add for our program this month?
Well, first, I just want to say thank you, Jesse, for thinking of us and including us again. It's always great when we have an opportunity to catch up. And I think I would be at fault if I didn't mention mental health and well-being during the season as well, because it is crazy times. This whole year has really changed our routine, our way of life,
Very
and
much so.
the holidays coming up. Usually that's a stressful time to begin with. Now the opportunity, or that maybe not having the opportunity to see family and friends and do traditions like you used to, it can be hard on folks. So just to make sure you take time for yourself during the holidays, that could be popping in your favorite Christmas movie and just sitting and taking time for yourself. But try to maybe making new traditions with your family, but just try to find the joy and make sure to take care of yourself so you can best take care of others.
Well, Jana, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks for joining me, and we'll catch up again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Jana Davidson with the Progressive Agriculture Foundation joining us here on a special edition of Market Talk. You can find us online, markettalkag.com, and it's the same on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's at Market Talk Ag. This has been a special edition of Market Talk. I'm your host, Jesse Allen. Have a great day.